When my son was about to be baptized, the problem is deep rooted that even the illiterate old women in the village are fighting for the English name even more than those who should be fighting for it. I give you an instance.
They see it as part of
They
like
know they
the
see it
colonial
as
the colonial
they
effect
see it as part
belong,
of
belonging to,
Mbani go educated.
belonging to
Name
a class.
that you are already a member of a certain class. And so you should have English name. That's why you see them even in the village. They are bearing English name.
Yes.
Now I tell you, my son, when he was about to be baptized, I told them that I don't want an English baptismal name for my son. When he was born, my mother already ran and came and gave him an Igbo name, Chiagozie. I accepted wholeheartedly, right? Now,
Very nice name.
Yeah, but when he was about to be baptized, she came again and said that his name will be Joshua. I laughed too, but I told her that this time around that my own decision will be superior. That my son is not bearing any English name. He's not taking Joshua. That what I want for him as a baptismal name is Dikechi Mereze. Chiagozie Dikechi Mereze.
Which one did he later stand?
Now, we almost fought in the church. Women and their insistence.
Even you don't want to be embarrassed too.
I know sometimes why would you want to be embarrassed? Like,
this is the stereotypes.
There is this trend among Igbo of actually doing away with their primary Igbo naming identity in favor of English names, especially the Christianized names. Even sometimes they go as far as going by some unknown English name, like Jack, like Johnson, that has no foundation in the religion which they claim is the basis of their current naming system.
Yeah, some go further than even their primary first name. Some even change their surnames.
Yeah.
You see something like maybe Kevin Jack.
But you know of one of our own classmates who used to go by the name Austin Thomas, as his full name. And then sometimes
I never knew he was even from Igbo State.
No. I thought maybe someone from maybe Rivers, because they actually bear such names, like mostly. And then sometimes it's quite shocking. And then sometimes it's about indoctrination, because the Christian missionaries did a lot of injustice to the Igbo naming tradition.
Yeah, it's not only Igbo naming tradition, it's the African setting. Apart from the missionary, sometimes the white guys find it very difficult to pronounce our names.
Yes, of course. So they have to give you a name that is more convenient to them.
Like if you study Long Road to Freedom, Nelson Mandela will tell you about his own name. The name Nelson was given to him by the teacher.
His name is Roli.
And most of them were not able to pronounce those names.
But be it as it may, our own people always try as much as in fact, as much as possible, to try to adapt to the pronunciation of certain Western names. Otherwise, we will not be able to pronounce names like Chesney. We will not be able to pronounce names like Schwarzenegger or Schwarzenegger,
Shevchenko.
Those kind of things there. But I feel sometimes it's about some people think it's a superiority complex, but I have come to understand that it's inferiority complex
and lack of, I think, ignorance of history. Because when you are given a name, especially in African culture, not even particularly the Igbo culture, these names are carefully thought about by your parents.
Yes,
sometimes
absolutely.
Not immediate parents, maybe your extended
family, your uncle, your granddad,
yes,
and all the rest.
And the name could be prophetic. The name could be about your circumstance of birth, or even circumstance of your family condition, like Obianuju.
Yes, of
course. That kind
like
of
Ozemen, like Ekutos. Because such names always come about to describe a lot of events in the society.
Surrounding maybe the family at a particular time of your birth,
yes,
or
of course.
Maybe you are someone that was very sickly.
It's a representation, or maybe that in your family that you have a historical lineage of maybe in Igbo tradition, ndị na-eri aja, like Igbo aja,
yeah.
Ubu aja.
Yes.
You know, all these people they have this lineage of being the Uriajas. That it is their own calling. Now they can eat substances or take money that was used in Igbo aja, and then nothing happens to them. But you who are not from that lineage, if you go and touch it, it becomes problematic for you. All right. Now, apart from that too, there is this richness that the Igbo naming system always had. Now, it's a mark of identity, because when you call your name, for instance,
it has a deeper meaning, because you understand
apart from the meaning, it gives you an identity. There is a set of identity it gives, because in the whole of Igbo land, even though most currently everything has been mixed up, but in the earlier time, there are names that when you call, then you can say that this name is from maybe people from Anambra. People from Imo, people from this other part, Arondi Zogo. If you come to Enugu, for instance, there are names you also bear. They will tell you that this guy is an Nkanu guy, that this guy is from maybe Enugu, or Uti, and all the rest. All right,
when you say Ono now, most people
it's from it's Ngbo. And when you say Onu or Ono, you know where it is from. And then when you call Onnamani, you know where it's from. Do you understand? And then and so on and so forth. But our people have actually chosen to go the English way.
Yes.
Well, I used to be a victim.
Yeah, anglicizing most of the names. And that thing that is even most important to understand is some people, even when they retain their Igbo name, they end up anglicizing the name. And you know, because Igbo is a tonal language. Sometimes by pronunciation, you could just mess up the whole thing. The meaning is gone. And some people allow, you see their surnames, they will just try to Obina. Obaina. You know, and sometimes when you travel abroad, most times the white people struggle to pronounce those names. And some people end up not even using their English names.
Basically, the biggest mistake you make is attaching an English name to any of your names.
Yes,
because the white man, they will simply pick their own.
Because it's easier for them to.
They can't pick yours. They will pick theirs. So for me, I think it's a matter of psychology. If the white man in the avalanche of name you have picks his own, then why should I even insert the white man's name into my name?
Now, because like you said earlier on, some people this is about, should I say inferiority complex, or let me just not say inferiority complex, maybe lack of the understanding of our own history. Because this thing has been handed down to us by the British also.
Yes, of course.
You can imagine small countries in European, like Eastern Europe, not even up to a state in Nigeria. The names have been preserved for more than
centuries. Yes.
And you see English referees, maybe when you watch football, these guys go at a very, very, very great length to learn the pronunciation.
Yes, of course. Thank God for someone like Ihanacho. Ihanacho, in the writing of his name, made sure he started the Igbo Pomrekom into the writing of his name. So you see them call him Ihanacho. You know, they're trying to learn it.
Yes.
Now, if you go, what's this other guy, Nigerian superstar now, who is bearing the English name?
Ndidi?
Not Ndidi. The one who won African Best.
Ademola
Lukman.
Lukman.
You know,
as an Arab name. You know, I think it's a Muslim.
Now Ademola is Yoruba name. The Lukman. You know, the Lukman.
I see a lot of the Arab guys.
Or even Victor Boniface. You know, what is the meaning of Boniface?
I think it's Oko something.
All right. Now, but he's bearing the Boniface as his name. And then you see the white man will pick the Boniface ahead of every other.
Because it's easier for them to pronounce. But these things, we are the one presenting, like you said, who present those options.
You gave them the option. So they will choose what is more convenient.
Yes. When the name is not.
But if you present them less options, they will have no option than to choose the one
the same way
presented.
You will not see a German now when he's born and the German wants to take maybe a Russian name or
No,
or English name.
no. It's very rare. Or you look at
Rare.
an Arabian.
Yes.
You
They
know,
want
you
to
make
have an
sure
English name.
he writes his name Ibn Kadel, and then you will learn how to pronounce it Ibn Kadel.
And he gives him
It gives them a sense of identity
identity.
and a sense of pride. Now, but you see, especially the Igbo ladies, in fact, I don't even know the meaning of what they always put. He's
Jane.
no, there's this word that used to irritate me a lot. He's or he's yeah. I begin to wonder what kind of nonsense is this. And then you see a lady that will do conjoin a surgical name.
3 or 4.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
Mary Gloria.
Mary Gloria, yeah.
Mary this one, Mary the other one. You know, it's a kind of a stupid. I don't know whether to say it's very stupid. If you go by your name, people will give you the respect you deserve. Yes, character is one other thing, but they begin to look at you in one way and say, "Wow, this guy is different." For me, that was it took me a long age of realization. I had to go and alter my name to my full Igbo name, Madabuchie no Okorie.
Yeah, that some people don't even know. You know, as a young man, because of the religious, or some people were baptized religious inclination. Some people were baptized and they have to give an English name. You can have baptism without changing to English. You can have second Igbo name.
Okay. Let me shock you. When my son was about to be baptized, the problem is deep rooted that even the illiterate old women in the village are fighting for the English name even more than those who should be fighting for it. I give you an instance. When
they see it as part of
they see it as part of educated.
Belonging to a class.
That you are already a member of a certain class. And so you should have English name. That's why you see them even in the village, they are bearing English name.
Yes.
Now I tell you, my son, when he was about to be baptized, I told them that I don't want an English baptismal name for my son. When he was born, my mother already ran and came and gave him an Igbo name, Chiagozie. I accepted wholeheartedly, right? Now,
very nice name.
But when he was about to be baptized, she came again and said that his name will be Joshua. I laughed too, but I told her that this time around that my own decision will be superior. That my son is not bearing any English name. He's not taking Joshua. That what I want for him as a baptismal name is Dike Chimereze. Chiagozie Dike Chimereze.
Which one did he later stand?
Now, we almost fought in the church. Women and their insistence.
Even you don't want to be embarrassed too.
I know sometimes why would you want to be embarrassed? Like,
and the church.
My mother came and was telling people that what are this guy? Ogacha, after all the education, he's just behaving like a primitive woman.
That's actually a big problem when you are trying to, even some of the priests who want to argue with you.
No, the priest was laughing. The priest said that Joshua is a mighty man of valor, and that is not able to get Chimereze.
Yes.
All right. Now, what I want is the context of what I'm talking about, the Igbo-ness of it. Not the anglicized version of it.
That's why I like people enjoy with this. You see, the names they bear, they have serious meaning. Like, you try to translate those Hebrew names to the Igbo names. Like, I saw somebody one day. You see names like Okukwe, like that is faith. Okukwe, Ifunanya, those kind of things. You can still translate them to Igbo and bear the names.
And then it's very, very much.
When you have those kind of nicknames and you ask them, what's the name? You say Okukwe. It makes you to think about it very, very
faith.
Faith.
Now,
when somebody says faith, there is a vague understanding you have about it when somebody tells you my name is DK Chimereze. Most people want to your brain goes.
It gives you. What is the ideology? What
Chimereze? And it makes you to think about it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but when you say faith, there's that kind of superficial attachment you have with it. But when you hear DK Chimereze, the person is forced, especially when the person is an Igbo,
yes,
you are
of
forced
course.
to have a
Like
conscious.
you want to go and come here now.
There's a way
There's something.
Yeah.
It's so special for me.
Yeah.
All right.
We must understand that when you abandon this your name, you are throwing away. Should I say a kind of
Your culture,
a generation of history.
yes, of
And
course.
also discarding your parents' intentional and careful choices they made during your birth. But most of us don't think about those kind of things. Oh, we don't know, because I wouldn't say, because some of us were, like you said now, you've passed through, like, is it 3 or 4
Yeah, yes, of course. I had to throw 3 away before I chose to hear the name Ene. Now the unfortunate thing is, Ene is a name of what they call Afogbo. Afogbo, Oyejigegwa.
Okay.
All right, it's inherent in Nkanu naming tradition. You have 2 names, your parents' giving name and Afogbo. Oyejigegwa. Do you understand? Now, the Ene is my Afogbo. And then until I learned to appreciate it, I was shying away from it. And then now, because now a lot of people think that it's a derogatory name to be called, only reserved for elderly people. All right, because if I meet my elderly person now and then I call him the Afo, the person will say Uncle as age mate. But it's not something like that. It's a normal name like every other name that you take. All right. So these kind of names they are transgenerational. That Afo is the transgenerational
And
if my son gets married and bears a first son, the first son will take that my name, and I am his obo.
And people don't understand how.
Now, if my daughter, I'm trying to pass this information across. Now, if I have a daughter, and my daughter gets married, maybe to an Onkano person. Now, the first son she will have will bear her father-in-law's name. And then the second son takes after my own name. He will take that name also, what? And that is how culturally names are being interchanged. That is why you come to my culture, you come to Nkano culture, you see some people bearing names like Odo. You see Odo, but you know that Odo is not an inherent name in the Nkano culture. All right, in the vast majority of Nkano culture, is an Nsukka name. The Nsukka people bear majorly Odo, right? Nsukka and Patu people, Umulumbe. But because of marriage, the Odoness has infiltrated into our own naming tradition. All right, so and it is there and it's stuck. No name is bad. There are people. There's someone I know that his Afa Ungu. You see a lot of Ungu. And that Ungu is Ungu Ekwensu. All right? And then you know what Ungu Ekwensu is. Ekwensu is the Igbo god of war, trade, and exploit. He's a trickster god. All right? So, the naming tradition of the Igbo people, if well preserved and well respected, will be very fine. I look forward to a period in time where an Igbo person who will be wholly an Igbo name.
Yeah, do you know that recently I think I was somewhere and I was given a form to fill. So when I filled my name and the other one, and then they say, "Where's the third name?" I said, "I don't have." And the person looked at me like, "You mean
is this guy from the moon?"
No, you're not baptized.
You didn't tell them Thomas.
No. That one has been officially removed from my name. So those kind of things, like if you don't have this knowledge, you start feeling inferior.
Yes.
You can even leave that place.
Yes. Yesterday, as God's willing, I was having a discussion with one of my friends, Chik Ambio. He's from Anambra. He doesn't have an English name. And then there was a small boy who was with us. The guy said even him too doesn't have an English name. He said, and then what I did was I started asking the guy, "Who is your father?" He showed me who the father was, and I was so gladdened in my heart. All right, you cannot talk about Igbo Renaissance and Igbo reawakening of the Igbo consciousness.
Preservation of the Igbo culture
Yes,
without.
and then you are still giving you're still naming our stores after the white man's matter. All right, it's just like even in the naming of streets currently. You come to Enugu, Achara layout everywhere. You're seeing Igbo names everywhere.
Yeah.
I look forward to one day people changing the name of New Heaven, maybe to one Igbo name, because we're not going to any heaven from here now.